Hello and welcome, people, to another Fyxshion Radio. Here again, once again, with Shinja-san.
Hello.
So yes, today we're going to be talking about a really cool, well-animated anime, and that is called Attack on Titan. So
Shingeki no Kyoji.
Yeah, Shingeki no Kyojin. So Shinja, can you tell us a little bit about this anime?
Sure. So in this anime, our protagonist's name is Eren Yeager. He lives in a poor part of town, in a future where humanity is constrained to just like this small portion of the world that's just within walls. And the reason there's walls are because there's giant creatures known as titans that are roaming around outside of these walls that have been basically devastating humanity for what seems like centuries. Humanity's just been constantly oppressed. You've been devoured by them, and they've tried several things like trying to negotiate with the titans, but it doesn't seem like they're either intelligent or they are willing to negotiate at all. But basically humanity's very afraid, so they built walls to keep themselves safe from these titans.
Yes.
But inside these walls, there is still a spark of humanity, like a spark of freedom, trying to like grow and like spread. Humanity wants to reclaim what was taken from them, and so that's where the scouts come into play. There's like these soldiers inside the wall that are equipped to fight off these titans as best as they can and know how to. And there's actually 3 different factions. There's the scouts that go out to explore beyond the walls to see if they can like gather new information on how to defeat the titans. There's the soldiers that protect the walls or are posted at the walls, and they're basically just normal like police. And then there's the ones that protect royalty, the royal guards or the royal police, and they're at like the innermost part of the walls, which is obviously like the richest and where the most nobles live. But yeah, Eren Yeager and his friends, they're devoted to striking down the titans and reclaiming the earth for humanity.
Indeed. Yes. This anime came out
So 2013, 2012.
Yeah, early 2010s.
Yeah. It feels weird because like we're only in season 3 and it's been 7 years since then.
About that, we're gonna talk about that later. So it has its things that we do not like about the pacing of the series, as the seasons and all that. That has its own problems. We're gonna talk about that later, but let's see, the year it started. Jesus Christ. 2013. Yeah.
Yep, that sounded about right. I had just like finished high school, or I was in the process of finishing it.
So yeah, right when this anime started, I've seen like before this anime was something, and before it started, I've seen pictures of it and the parts of the manga. And even the manga seems very, very artistic. It's very detailed, such as detailed gore and detail as very. It's art. It's just how well drawn it is. So
yeah, I mean, especially the anime. Like the manga looks like great, but like the anime, like I think like one of the things that caught people's eyes was just like that art style. Like no one had ever seen anything like it before. Like there was just so much detail in like the eyes,
Yes.
like especially like the eyes and like people's like mouths and whatnot. Like it was just very hypnotizing at first to look at, and everyone had these like really rounded, like almost 3D-ish looking faces, but
Yes.
it wasn't 3D and it wasn't rotoscoped. It was just really interesting. Like when you started watching it, you could tell like it was different from a lot of anime.
Very different, even from that time. I mean, by that time, I guess Hunter x Hunter was still in there.
Yeah,
a lot of
2011, Hunter x Hunter.
yes, but it was still be aired by, its competition was still there. The studio from this one, let's see, what studio?
Yeah, it almost feels like it'd be a Madhouse production,
Yeah.
but I'm almost certain it's not.
It's called WIT Studio, WIT. It's they're like Wido Studio. But yeah, these guys have freaking talent. I'm telling you, these guys have talent as hell. They know what they're doing. Let's see.
Yeah, this anime, it was I remember when it first came out, like everyone was talking about it, like especially that first episode.
Oh yeah.
Because it starts off rather peaceful and like literally within minutes, like like all of a sudden everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
And it was just they went all out in like animating people's expressions of fear.
Oh yeah.
So like all the like people screaming and the tears coming out. And then not only that, the Titans don't even look, they're humanoid, but they're all like, they have really weird features. Like all of them, like their faces are usually like smiling and they're all naked.
Yeah, they're all naked.
Yeah. And like their arms are like long and weird, but they have like fat bellies, and it's disgusting to look at.
It's
Like
it's
the
disturbing.
first time like you see it, you're like, what the frick, dude?
Oh yes. I think my first impression of the anime was the same as like from a lot of anime fans, that okay, so I'm here to watch some guys with swords fighting titans and all that. Well, it was kind of different when these guys like started gliding and grappling hooking and then slicing, and then like you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah. It's weird because the anime like just takes two, like it makes really quick turns.
Yeah,
where, like,
it does.
it shows you like the real badass side of like, just swinging around with the 3D gear and like just slicing stuff up. It's really fast paced, looks really cool, and then immediately it's just like, nope. In like literally a second, everything goes to hell. Everything.
Yeah, totally. It's just not as planned.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden, like, yep, your 3D maneuver gear doesn't work. Like your blades are like,
yeah, you need to replace
like
your blades like every time and then.
Yeah, every like few slashes.
Yeah.
Which like I get it, but it also just feels stupid. The 3D gear like runs on gas, and the gas you have to like also like replenish after a while. It's like a Spider-Man thing. It's only useful in like crowded places with like a lot of buildings.
Yeah.
So like out in the wilderness, or like outside in forest and whatnot, like if they're in a forest, it's the optimal situation because you got trees, but out in the open plains, there's like nothing to latch onto. So like your gear kind of becomes useless then too. It's just like
Yeah,
it has a lot of flaws.
Yeah, these people struggle. They have this technology, as what you explained in Shinja. They all do have this technology. They're prepared. They train, but it's just not enough.
It amounts to nothing basically. And so there's always this constant sense of like, it doesn't matter, you know,
Right.
whatever you do, like it's all worthless, and you're constantly reminded by it, especially like when all the teams come back from like missions and whatnot, and it's like everyone there died except a few of the protagonists, because the protagonists gotta live,
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah.
But everyone else died. Yeah, plot armor. They got that nice plot armor.
But yeah, their city always gets destroyed. Yeah, the charm is about this anime is that it is very human. It is very it's not like very realistic in terms of, I mean, we all know that Titans, I mean, come on. But in terms of realism is that there is death. There's graphical death. There's gore. There's something that you do not want to look at, but it's there. Yeah. And that's the the naturality of this anime that people love. You like see all the blood and all the it's pretty graphical. You're gonna see blood in you.
Another thing that this anime explored that like is kind of fascinating, and it's the bigger like key topic throughout like all the seasons. Oh, yeah. It's like normally you think, okay, if we all had one common enemy, we would all bond together and work together to get rid of this common enemy. But this world proves that that's not true. Or at least in anime, in this story, it's not true. Because like even in this whole settlement, we're like, oh yeah, we're all humans and we're all fighting against the Titans. There's still a hierarchy class. There's still like slavery. People discriminate against each other.
Oh yeah.
It's like bad. And then there's the whole like actual like conspiracy stuff going on, because you can't have an anime like this without like good old conspiracy, like, oh, it's the royalties' fault that we're like this, like they know more than they're letting on. What is going on,
Correct. Yeah, it's as what you mentioned, Shinja. This anime is just more than the Titans. The human beings also have their own problems, even though they actually betray themselves. We've seen it, these 3 seasons. They are also up against each other. They fight, and you see like the Titans coming in, and of course the Titans, they just don't think. They're just mindless creatures that they're just there, and these human beings like fighting each other in these type of places when there's problem inside and outside where they actually live. And that's what's good about this anime. It's just not that the Titans, it's just the character development and the fights, and between the fact that these are human beings and they're just living in a world stuck in one place. And I love the 3rd season, the first half, and a lot of people criticize it. I don't. I love that 3rd season in the first half.
Well, it's especially ramping up now in the second season.
that is just bomb, like. But yeah, the 3rd season right now is one of the best.
Yeah, it's, like first season is like phenomenal, and the way it ends too is like everyone was talking about it. People were just anticipating season 2 forever.
Oh yeah,
but then they took too long.
It took 2 years.
It took more than 2 years. I feel like
3, like 2.5 or 3. Man, it's just bad waiting.
And not only that, it was like forever we didn't hear anything about it. You know, we didn't even know if we were gonna get a second
People
season.
lost the hype. You know, like.
Yeah. And then it didn't exactly live up to the hype either. Like we found out a bunch of stuff in season 2.
Oh yeah.
But like people were expecting like something bigger, and
but it ended up in 12 episodes.
Yeah, it was like it was wrapped up pretty quick, and we didn't really learn a lot. It was just like, okay, so I kind of already figured that, but you know, or can we move? It was really slow. I think that was the biggest problem. It was a short season and it was slow. But season
up until
3,
the end, until the end was like, okay, they're catching up, but then it was just the ending.
Season 2's ending was great. It was good, but it should have been done in less amount of time. It should have taken less episodes to get to that point.
It's like versus the first season when you had like 20 plus episodes versus the second season where they was just 12 or 13, I don't know. And yeah, people were like, wait, this is it?
But then season 3, like you said, part 1 like really kicks it up, like where it's we basically don't see any Titans season 1 of part 1 of season 3.
Yeah,
it's all like, okay, now humanity is kind of like everyone's stressing out with all the new information that they've learned.
It's like politics in this anime. Like if you like that kind of like topic, this is like legit. This is the type of politics in Attack on Titan.
And then in season 2 now it's like, okay, we moved away from the humans, now we're back onto Titans. But it's, you know, they laid the foundation for all that work on part 1.
Yeah, that development was freaking great. I mean, this anime, wow, man, it's just, I don't know why they took long, and I think it was because of changing the studio, because I see here right now that which studio did not make season 3. So my understanding is that they were like, we're not gonna lose money on Attack on Titan again, because since they're monthly shonen, whatever the hell it is, it's a slow pacing one. So this is not like weekly Shonen Jump. This is it takes time, okay? The Attack on Titan is not weekly, so it takes time to get to some point. So basically, maybe the studio got tired of waiting also, and they just move on with another studio. In which I think maybe that happened because, I mean, you know, studios need to move on, and you know, waiting that long, because that was a freaking long way, bro. And for 12 episodes and to disappoint the people at the end, not at the end, but the freaking whole series, like that season, it didn't quite disappoint me. It's just like you said, Shinja, it was a bit slow, and then it started picking up at the end, and then it's over. And then we had to like wait until how many months? Because this time it wasn't that long.
Oh yeah, it was like no, not even half a year, like 4 months.
Yeah, like 4 months or 5. Yeah, it was like straightforward.
It was like, yeah, like it came out like summer last year, and then it took a break for like at the beginning of fall last year.
Yeah,
and then it
just came back a month ago.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, like beginning of this year, like back in January, I think, or maybe earlier. I don't know. I lost track.
It
didn't take as long as a break. I remember that where it ended, I was like, you can't end there. This can't be the end of season 3. And everyone's like, oh no, it's not. It's one of those like, it's like a season break or whatever. Like it's normal in Japan. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. But like not a lot of animes do that.
Yeah, they just don't. It's just either by arcs or do it Boku no Hero Academia style, which I fully disagree on that. it just loses the hype, you know. And that's what happened to Attack on Titan, because at the beginning it was like, damn, Attack on Titan cosplayers, even the shitty ass live action movie, even the OVAs, the hype was there, but then it just started to disappear. Last cosplayer dressing as Attack on Titan, it's it went down the lane, man. It like people started like forgetting about Attack on Titan and move on with another anime, and that's a freaking big mistake. And it's just, yeah. And right now there's a lot of people that are not watching Attack on Titan because of that. I know people myself, like, no, I'm not watching that shit again. I'm like, come on, dude.
You know,
it is hard to just like from a long hiatus, because it was a hiatus.
yeah, no, it was long. It was like, it was hard for me to get back in, or to get the interest
Like
to get back.
people actually forgot what it actually was. Like people like needed to
no,
rewatch.
I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of people forgot how the previous season ended.
Oh yeah,
'cause,
definitely.
like, and maybe some important like little plot points here and there.
Yes.
I know there were some things I forgot. I was like, wait, so why are they trying to do this again? And
Yeah.
thankfully they do give recaps, but it was still like,
Yeah. Season
What?
2 didn't help much.
no, here's the thing, nothing that happens season 2 is almost important. Like, only
Until
one
the
thing no, seriously, only one thing that happens season 2 is like actually important, and it's like, oh, okay, because like we don't reference anything of season 2 really.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like just recently they did a callback to like something that happened season 2, and it's like, oh man, glad I watched that.
Oh yeah. But overall, I mean, this anime, you have not seen it yet because of, oh, it's overrated, or it's too mainstream. Like, I know a lot of people who just like back off in overrated animes and mainstreams. Just give it a chance. And before an anime becomes mainstream, watch it. Just don't wait until it's mainstream. I learned that from myself. I learned that from experience. I've been watching a lot of anime, and Shinja, you already know that. So you and me, we both know that even though the anime gets the hype it deserves, it doesn't mean that it's overrated. It's just that even the fans kind of like, okay, you praise it too much, and I get it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's never that the anime is bad. You always want an anime to succeed. Like I remember when I told you about Sword Art Online. I freaking loved watching that the first time, and it got the praise it deserved. But then it got too much praise.
It was just too much. Yeah, exactly.
And it was the fans.
Yeah, it was the fans. Yeah.
It was the kind of thing like you'd go to a Comic-Con and there were 50 Kiritos. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it, guys. You like Attack on Titan. Can we all dress up as different people?
Aaron,
Do we all have
and
to
Levi, and Mikasa.
Attack on Titan almost didn't suffer that as much. We did see a lot of scouts at like Comic-Cons and stuff.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't like as many as I feel like Kirito. I feel like I saw like every Comic-Con there was at least like 5 Kiritos walking around with like 2 swords and whatnot, and some of them look slightly better than others,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that happens much.
It all came down to their wig and their like general shape and whatnot.
Oh yeah, of course. It's and so and Attack on Titan also had this weird crossover when it had their hype with Marvel, which it didn't quite did so well because I think Marvel.
I don't remember hearing about that.
It was kind of cool, but it's just that hype of the Avengers thing, since it felt like, I think it was from Avengers 1. I think it was like around that time in 2014.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they kind of do that kind of crossover, And it was kind of, it's average. It's not that great thing, because mixing two different worlds like that, you need a brighter mind than what you saw in that manga or comic. But yeah, Attack on Titan also has video games too, which I only have the first one.
Those were interesting because people were expecting kind of like an actual story-driven game, and apparently mostly got basically like a warrior-style game, but
the
zipping around.
Yeah.
Or I think people wanted stuff like you know, like the Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can zip around, but in the Titan universe, and like the only time you really got to do that was to fight. It was mostly like a visual novel and then fighting.
Exactly. And what else about this anime? I mean,
But I just learned this. This is interesting. I didn't know there was like serious political interpretations of this whole thing going on in China and South Korea. So I don't know for sure if this is the right way to interpret it. And I need to look at how this looks like. Hold on. Because apparently, you know, China thinks that like Japan is like saying that like China's the Titans.
Right.
And for some reason South Korea does as well, and I don't understand why. So like the Wikipedia page says coverage of the anime appeared on the front page of the Hong Kong Free Newspaper, AM 7:30 on May 27, 2013. Concerning its popularity was in Hong Kong as well as in mainland China and Taiwan. The series also attracted criticism in South Korea, accusing Attack on Titan of having a militaristic message that serves Japanese Prime Minister Shinja Abe's political leanings, while the series also resonated with Hong Kong youths who saw the invading Titans as a metaphor for mainland China. Hong Kong media commentator Wang Yung-tai, I don't know if like I pronounced that wrong, praised Isayama's style and the versatility of Attack on Titan setting, which opens itself to readers' various interpretations. In 2013, after media linked to a 2010 blog post by Isayama indicating that the design of the character Dot Pixels was based on the Imperial Japanese General Akiyama Yoshifuru's, an internet flame war about the general's war recording ensued on his blog and included death threats to the author. So it's kind of controversial apparently, and it was banned in China.
Wow.
So it's weird. It's like because like they're not straight up saying anything in the anime, but like clearly it's resonating with some people in these countries.
Yeah.
So like, you know, there's some political messages in there, which I believe we were like just talking about, like, you know, like there's
3.
both like the actual like kings in the in the human side, and also like the Titans outside. There's like oppression from both sides, so I'm sure there's some interesting.
Yes, I did not know about that. The good thing you brought it up. I mean, even though we're short in time, but I mean, if it sounds like it is an inspiration. It's some social criticism in the world that we live in, and also that part of Asia that are actually living that kind of stuff. I mean, criticism is also, you know, shown in anime. So I mean, Attack on Titan has almost everything. It has that action, good animation, it has plot, something that a lot of animes don't have. Character development, a lot of characters. It's a ton. It's just it's like, wow, it has a lot of characters there, so fully recommend it, guys. Just give it a chance, and if you drop it, please don't, go back and enjoy, okay? Just forget about the hiatus in the season 2. Just go back to season 3, and season 3 is delivering. It's just amazing. So yeah, I think this will be it. So join us next time, and please don't forget to favorite, comment, and subscribe. This has been Zyber,
And this is Shinja.
and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.